Things changed when I was in grade 5 and my parents divorced. And my dad remarried a couple years later, and I had sisters all of a sudden and didn't know what to do with it, and got in a whole lot of trouble and got removed from my home and ended up in the foster care system. Hardest thing was standing in front of a judge and hearing my parents say, "No, I don't want this kid back home." That was the hardest thing. And it was also probably what I needed. I was actually watching the news one night. It reminded me that, at one time I did want to become a foster parent, and it's just the time was never right. I always had roommates and I was traveling, and now I had no excuses, and so I made a phone call. I was a kid and I knew how horrible I was, so I was scared. But I also knew that I made it, so I saw Corbin's come through, and he came from a small town. I came from a small town. It kind of made sense. He went to Millard South. When I was here in Omaha, I went to Ralston. So I had friends from Millard South. It's like, we kind of share the same background, and I thought, I'm going to give this a chance. The day that Corbin was placed, I remember going through the house and making sure it was spotless. And, his room, I can't tell you how many times I walked back and forth to make sure it looked perfect. He got out of the car and had this tote with him, and that was it. And I was like, "Corbin, need help carrying that?" And he's like, "No, I got it. I'm a man. I can do this." And I was like, "Okay." And he walked upstairs. He's like, "Which one's my room?" I'm like, "That one over there." He's like, "Where's the bathroom?" I'm like, "I'm supposed to show you where all this stuff is." He goes, "I've done this before." He took his shoes off and he goes, "I'm sorry, but my feet smell bad." "Corbin, as soon as we are done signing this with your caseworker, we are going straight to Shields and getting you new shoes because they cannot be in our house." We went down to Florida. He was so overwhelmed with all the people and the things that he saw, and the different foods that he got to eat, and the rides and the water park, and it's something he never experienced. He was just so overwhelmed, and he just let it all out and wanted to go home. I don't think that I ever in foster care was homesick ever once in any home if I left. And that's when I realized that Corbin's not going anywhere. Guardian ad litem's got to come see their kids every 6 months. Corbin's actually was kind, and she came every month to see him. And when his guardian ad litem came that next time, out of the middle of nowhere, he came out of his room and he said, "Sarah, I want my parents' rights terminated." And I go, "Corbin, where did this come from?" He goes, "I want to be adopted." And I go, Can't talk about this, because family planning is always reunification, And then a couple nights later, I wake up and he's sitting in my room, because he used to come check on me to make sure I never left at night. And he was just sitting in my chair, and I go, "Corbin, what are you doing in here?" He goes, "Will you adopt me?" And the next month, his caseworker came in and said that they're going to change his permanency review to legal guardianship, and she asked me if I would be his legal guardian, and I had no qualms about saying yes. My family adores him. I adore him. Once you get to know him, oh my God, he keeps you going. You're on your toes, and he's so sweet. Biology doesn't make a family. It's how you look at each other, and the compassion and caring, and it's unconditional, where you can come home and feel safe and not worry about what somebody else thinks. That to me is family. Corbin has not passed a class since 5th grade. There's 2 honor roll certificates sitting on our refrigerator from last year. And the last one is, last semester he had a 3.85, which is almost a 4. That has nothing to do with me. I remind him, do your homework, and every once in a while I'll help him with a project. But that kid has to sit in class all day and do those tests and do the work. Corbin has taught me a lot. Patience is one of them. How to realize that I'm not the most important thing anymore. I literally can't imagine life without him. even though it's only been 2.5 years now. I still remember my Child Saving Institute worker that, when I was a kid, realizing there's a big, huge community out there to assist with that, and it's not just, here, there you go, do your best, don't call us. It's not like that anymore. So if you're thinking, anybody thinks about foster parenting, just do it. If you like it, great. If not, don't renew your license. I don't know, sometimes I wonder if it's a dream and I'm going to wake up and it's just going to be, but then I have somebody come in and poke me to tell me to get up, so.